Hey guys, Dustin Pass here. I was reading an article recently that said a trader had actually built a $5 billion position in a demo account. At least he thought it was a demo account, and made over $10 million in profit ultimately. And it was a complete accident. And this got me thinking about how easy it is to make money on a demo account. In this particular case, it worked out for him. They tried to take it back, but he sued them and ended up getting like $11.2 million because he did actually make the money. But it's funny to me how so many traders get into the markets, they start trading, and of course we all start on demo, at least hopefully we start on demo, and they just make a ton of money. And it was this way for me, maybe it was this way for you. When I first started trading, I couldn't lose. And in retrospect, I realized it's because you take risks that you wouldn't normally take when there is no risk, right? You're going to trade much larger amounts than you would normally trade, much larger percentages of your whole. You certainly are going to let stocks or futures or Forex or whatever you're trading run longer than it normally would against you. And a lot of times you'll let it go more in your direction as well, allowing you to make more money. So all these things kind of come from one place, and that's the fact that there's no risk in your mind because it's all fake money. And this got me thinking, would anyone ever put 3, 4, 5 times their annual income into one single stock unless there was no risk, right? I mean, think about that yourself. Would you take 3 or 4 times your annual income, assuming you had it? Most Americans, I say Americans, most folks all around the world don't have that much money on hand. But let's say you had been saving for retirement and you had 2, 3, 4 times what you made in a year put away in a bank account. Would you ever just put that in one stock? Of course not, right? Because there's so much risk involved with that. So I want you to think about when we see insiders doing that, when they're putting in 3, 4, 5 times their annual income into their company's stock. They know things, guys. I mean, are they going to do that if there's a lot of risk? Of course not. They're no different than you or I. They're going to look at the market and realize, man, there's a lot of risk in the markets, and I can't put that kind of money in there unless they know something. And you have to realize insiders do. They know things that the general public does not know. Just this last week, we experienced a trade that we got in because of an insider. Insider, built a pretty big position into this particular stock, and they had phase 2 trials. They were doing very positive. They launched, the trials. They released the data. It came out, and it spiked like 100% overnight. The week before that, we had one. I think it was earnings came out, and we made like 400% on that one. A few months before that, we made like 1,000%. And we're doing this just by following these insiders because they know things about their company. And when they enter the market, when they buy their own stock with 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times their annual income, they're doing it because they don't believe there's any risk, or at least they believe the risk is very small, or they wouldn't do it. Again, remember, they're no different than you. And so this is an opportunity for you to just ride on their coattails. All these trades, they're reported to the public on what's called a Form 4. All right. In fact, it's not just something that they're supposed to do. By law, they're required to report it, whether it's 1 share or 10,000 shares. Every time they enter the market, buying or selling their own stock, they have to report it. And so we data mine that database. We go in there, we pull out all the stocks, all the insider buys that are significant, that show conviction, that says, you know what, this person doesn't seem to think that there's much risk in putting all this money in there. And then we just ride their coattails. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can do that, of course, we have an on-demand webinar that you can attend. There's links below this video. Click over, watch that. We're going to talk to you about what a Form 4 is, where you can find them. We're going to show you the filters we use. Sometimes you'll see something like a cluster buy. A cluster buy is when 2 or 3 of the insiders or executives all buy at the same time with a significant amount. We're going to talk about certain insiders that carry more weight than others. When you see legal counsel, when you see like the company attorney start stepping up and putting his money in, that's a good sign because attorneys are very risk averse. All right, they don't take on a lot of risk, and that's a good sign. That's something we look for. So there's several filters that we look for, and we're going to walk you through those in this webinar that's upcoming. We also have stocks in our portfolio right now that have earnings reports due out any day now. All right, once you go through that webinar. You're going to learn how to do this on your own if you'd like, but we're also going to invite you to join us in the Insider Report service where we find the stocks for you. You can expect anywhere from 2 to 5 stocks a month that we're going to send to you. And, we'll give you the stock ticker. We'll give you the buy, we're buying here or we suggest buying here. If there's an option available, we'll give you an option play as well. So guys, if you're interested in trying to put yourself in a position where there's not as much risk, where you're following people who clearly think there's hardly any risk, all right, that's when you can start having success. And now I'm certainly not suggesting that you put 2 or 3 or 4 times your own annual income into these stocks because we don't know what the insiders know. But it has been extremely successful for us here at the Insider Report. And, I urge you, take a look at it. Attend one of our webinars, and hopefully I'll see you on the Insider Report, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy your Valentine's Day weekend.